Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, three-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
Hello, Tim.
Hey. Hi.
How are you today? Hi. I'm
Oh,
Chris.
I'm
He's
warm.
Tim. You're warm?
Toasty. Yeah.
It is even like I have to get my AC unit, downstairs unit charged because it's not blowing. I actually have a window unit in my living room that's keeping the downstairs cool because it's just not cold enough. So I have to, my HVAC guy is supposed to be here 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks. It's like everything in the Trump administration. 2 weeks.
There are 2 weeks.
So
I have lamented enough about the old farmhouse that I live in, and let's just say it's not air conditioned. And pardon me, I went out to dinner tonight. I had a few beers, so I might be a little looser lipped than I usually am.
That's all good. It's summertime, and that's the thing. Like there is literally nothing happening.
Nothing.
So
I am. My forearms are covered in. Well, I think this one is covered in poison ivy. I think this one is something else. I think it's like Virginia creeper.
poison oak.
No, it's Virginia creeper, which is a similar strain. So
Never heard of
whacking.
Virginia creeper.
You've seen it before. You just identified it probably as like poison oak or poison sumac or poison ivy,
Right.
but it is of that variety. So I do a lot of weed whacking around here because, as I mentioned before, trying to beat back the encroaching wilderness, life metaphor. And in weed whacking, a lot of the little bits and pieces, kind of like stuck to my arm because it's like 1,000 degrees outside. I was sweating, so it's just all over. Then I had a hockey game the other night, which just did not help. Having poison ivy underneath your equipment is not a fun thing to go through. So, white people problems.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that I am whatchamacallit. I can't get poison ivy. Immune, that's the word. I've walked through literal poison ivy fields and barefoot and have never gotten poison ivy. I've been around it my whole life and I've never gotten it. I did read that it is possible for some people to be immune. That's my superpower. I'm immune from poison ivy. So when I ever go face to face with a criminal armed only with poison ivy, I will be the guy.
You're the guy to call. You're the guy to
I'm
call.
the guy to
Fuck,
call.
I need you to come weed whacking my farm, man, because I am just covered in it head to toe. My ankles are a mess right now. It's the worst.
That cannot be comfortable at all.
I was talking about my brother about my superpower is like really good at that game Memory. You remember Memory where you had the cards laid down and you had to run? So I feel like the modern day adult application of that is being able to pair socks after they come out of the dryer. And I am really, really fucking good at that. And I'm like, oh man, like this is what like my gifted fucking education got me is being able to pair socks really well coming out of the dryer.
Little tip for people that aren't good at pairing socks, who do go through where the F is my damn sock? And I washed them all together. They all went in the dryer together, and now I'm missing one. Little hack, takes a little bit of time, but my wife got mad at me for doing this, so I had to stop. Not mad, but she was like, it's not helping, because I was the only one that was doing it, and I'm not the only one that does laundry. Anyway, little safety pin, take both socks, safety pin them together, wash and dry them, and then that way when you pull them out, they are connected. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm not going to do that.
You don't have that problem.
No, because like I look at a pile of socks, I'm like, I see all the pairs together.
Wow, you're like Rain Man.
Like, I don't know
socks.
what happened with. Yeah.
You're like
basically
42 crew socks, 42 crew, 15 long white, 15 long white with stripes. Definitely white with stripes. Yep. That's you. So,
Jeopardy's on at 7.
It's Wheel of Fortune, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it was Wheel of Fortune. Yeah.
You fart in here, Ray?
Can't even remember that.
You fucking fart. How the hell can you stand that? I don't mind. All right. Let's talk a little hockey. Since there's literally nothing going on, I do want to touch on something before we dive into this. But what we're going to do, and we'll start tonight. is our Welcome to New Jersey segment. So tonight I will kind of be going over a new player prospect or somebody that's coming to camp. Tim's going to do somebody else. And we're going to do a few of these throughout the summers, kind of give a little bit of background to some of the new faces that are going to be on the team that most of us, myself definitely included, I'm not familiar with. So this is kind of cool. And I'm more interested in what Tim's got to say about Juho than I do about LaChance. But before we start with that, so 4th of July weekend, right? A week or so ago, a little over a week ago, we heard from Tom Fitzgerald and said that the most important thing on his agenda moving forward is locking Luke Hughes up. But he also told Luke Hughes' agent, who he apparently spoke with that day, well, enjoy your weekend, have fun during the holidays. We're going to get right back into it after the holiday. Luke wants to be here. We want him here. We're going to get this thing done. Yet now it's been about, 10 days or so since the interview.
I think we're on 11 days now.
Yeah, okay. And we have not heard boo on the Luke Hughes extension front. What are your thoughts on that, Tim? And should we, as Devil fans, start getting a little bit nervous about this?
I don't think so. Like,
my dogs decide now, real quick, to start wrestling right next to me. Turbo, come. All right, go ahead. What are you thinking about the?
I don't think there's an issue with it. It's just like what we all see. Obviously, is there are still some pretty big holes in this lineup that we all as fans have seen. When we've identified them pretty clearly and loudly as another top line wing and a 3C. Like those are kind of the main pieces. How that gets done and the opinions of how that gets done. I think there are some disagreements with that. I've been pretty vocal about, being very wary about giving up on Dougie just to give up on Dougie. But I don't know. But Fitz saying Luke is my first priority, then we'll be able to see what gets done. Well, okay, so do the Luke contract. Like, he's been eligible for an extension for over a year. It's like I don't understand what's taking so long and why this could have gotten done, any time over the past year. I don't know why it's doing now. And my biggest concern is remember Mercer last year, and Mercer kind of had another year of regression. Mercer waited, that deal didn't get done until training camp, and he missed a couple of days of training camp. And I hate to say it sets guys back, but it sets guys back being able to get into training camp.
Absolutely.
So it's just annoying, and it's kind of like if that's the only thing Fitz has on his agenda, that concerns me, obviously, because of the holes that I think we need to fill.
I like we talked about on the last show last week. Me, on a personal level, I do not think that any of these other holes are going to get filled. I think the only move that's going to happen. Are you laughing because I said holes need to be filled?
Yeah, I can't help it.
I will watch my phrasing from here on out. Phrasing. So we should definitely start doing that on the show. So I think that we absolutely have to throw the Archer phrasing thing in from here on out.
Yeah, so where's that one? I was screaming pound that day.
Yeah, that's true. Phrasing, Tim. So I think that Palat will be traded. I think right now, because if you look at it, like if it's going to be an 8x9, maybe if that's what Luke wants, let's just say we don't have the money. We don't have the money right now. You can't do quiet. You can't do 8x9 right now. You got to do maybe then 4 by less. I don't know what we have in available cap space.
He can do it now. He just has to fix it by the end of the summer.
Right. Okay. So, but that's right. Okay. So he doesn't have to be cap compliant today. I understand.
Right.
So he has till whenever the day is that he has to be cap compliant. So you could sign him, but eventually you're going to have to do something. I do think Palat will be the guy on his way out. Again, with these new guys, like we're going to discuss over the next few weeks, I'm not saying all these guys are going to make the team and be opening day starters and in that lineup, but there are guys that deserve a legitimate chance, a legitimate look, and I don't think that Palat is going to bring that same element that some of these younger guys can. I understand the experience and the little things. I get all that, but I'm kind of done with that. I'm especially done with the $6 million contract. The team needs to kind of make that turn to some of the draft, some of the younger guys that we have. And I think this is the year to do it. A lot of people would say that that's going to be the Devils regressing. I don't think so. I'm kind of excited about this. I will be very excited about this team if that is the direction we go in. Now, granted, if they go and trade for Jason Robertson tomorrow, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm just saying I don't think there's going to be that 3C move. I think it's Mercer. Right now, as far as the wingers to play in the top six,
I think so too.
Yeah, I think the wingers to play in the top six. I think they're panning on Dadonov and Gritzia.
And not to say that Fitz is waiting for a marketplace. Can you see me? Yeah. We're both kind of breaking up a little bit, but it's not to say that Fitz is waiting for a marketplace to develop. But like, he just never seems like a guy that will make that first move. That will set a marketplace. Right or wrong. There just was a Dumba cap dump, and it's just like, okay, a marketplace has been kind of set for a cap dump. So it's like there are things you can kind of do, and I don't know how the leverage necessarily works one way or another, if there is any real leverage gained or lost if he signs Luke and then has to get out of that money. I feel like that may kind of lessen his leverage a little bit, but we've talked about it, like Palat. He was actually good in the playoffs. I will give him that. And then he has shown up every year we've been in the playoffs. He has shown up in the playoffs. But that is a replicable, like what he did in the playoffs is replicable for a lot less money that we need to bolster other areas. And that's kind of the reason that we're all looking at it. It's the same conversation with Dougie, although I think that may be a little bit of a different conversation.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a different conversation because I believe that Dougie Hamilton actually has value. I don't think that Palat is giving you a ton of value back. I mean, it's a cap dump. With Dougie, you're looking for a decent return for a good player. But I also think that that's never going to happen. And if it does happen, it's not going to be this year. Dougie is going to be on this team. He will be on the opening day roster. I fear Palat might too. But with the Palat thing, like he has no business at this stage in his career playing in the top six. It's just not a good spot for him. He's hurting the line that he's playing with. He hurts Bratt and Jack. Instead of giving them another weapon that can, help these guys advance, it's pulling them down. So third line winger, that's where he belongs. But again, he's not giving you any kind of offensive production. The constant, he does the little things. So $6 million, he better be doing a lot more than the little things.
Yeah,
I hate to go and count a guy's fucking money, but that's just how it is.
Exactly. Like, we need more than 30 points and some little things and tenacity in the playoffs. Yeah. It's just, we just can't deal with that. Like, we've both been saying, like, Evan Rodriguez would be a perfect replacement for him.
Yeah.
And it's $3 million less. Send Palat away somewhere, anywhere, to make that work. One of the prime targets that we had been talking about was San Jose as a place for Palat. They're looking for a middle six-ish, top nine winger, but they just signed Jeff Skinner. It was funny. There was actually an article about a week before about Jeff Skinner where San Jose already said no to Jeff Skinner, and then they went and signed Jeff Skinner, which is pretty funny to me.
San Jose, I love the way that they're being built right now. I love the way they're being built, and I love the way Utah's being built. And I look at those two teams out west, and I could see them really, not this year, but next couple of years, they're going to have to be dealt with by some of these teams in the west. Like, we have the same thing in the east. There's the same guys that are always there, but now there's some younger teams moving up that I really like.
We were also saying that about the Devils 3-4 years ago, and we've stalled out.
Yeah,
we've really stalled out here, and it's just, I don't know, man. Like, you start thinking about things like the prime window for playing, NHL hockey is 23, 24 to maybe 28 tops.
Mm-hmm.
Nico's almost 28. Timo's 28. Obviously Dougie's 30s. Jack is still young but he's got splody bones. And
he does.
Luke is 21 and Nemec is 21 and Casey's 21 and Saliv's supposed to come over. And we still have Yegorov coming. And it's just like, I feel like the talent that we have in the pipeline's good and the talent we have now is good. It would be awesome if they were all together in that mix together right now, all in like the mid-20s. But I just feel like we're kind of a Venn diagram of two good windows that aren't great. Like we're not in that top tier of Stanley Cup contenders. We're going to make the playoffs, probably. We might even make it to the second round. But like as it's constructed, I don't know if we're a better team than that. We're not in the top tier of Stanley Cup contenders right now. I don't know. Prove me wrong, Devils, but I just don't think we are.
Let's do a quick, before we go into the meat of today's episode, let's do a quick little survey. All right. So this is basically, are the Devils a top 10 team? Okay. So I'm just
survey of two.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you questions. You tell me if the Devils are better or not better than these teams. Are the Devils better than the Florida Panthers?
No.
Are the Devils better? I'm going to just stay in the East here. Well, actually, no. I'll go outside the East, but I'll start with the East. Are they better than the Tampa Bay Lightning?
No.
Okay. Are they better
Maybe.
than
I think about even with Tampa.
Okay.
I think Tampa. I think like you look at like a graph. Like we're kind of right in the middle where they're on that decline, even though we've been talking about their decline for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we are still on the way up, but we're both kind of flatlined a little bit in the middle. So it's almost like an X with a flat line.
I get you. Yeah. Well, they're going in two different trajectories right now, though. They're pretty even. Toronto.
That's hard. I think Toronto got worse. Yeah, I'll say we're better than Toronto.
Okay. Are we better than the Washington Capitals?
Yes.
Are we better than the Carolina Hurricanes?
No.
Are we better than the New York Rangers?
Yes.
You don't think we're better than Carolina?
No.
Okay. Are we better than the Dallas Stars?
No.
Are we better than the Edmonton Oilers?
No.
Are we better than the Knights?
No.
Are we better than the Colorado Avalanche?
I think similar to Tampa Bay. We're kind of right at the same level.
Okay. Are we better than the Minnesota Wild?
Yes.
Are we better than the St. Louis Blues?
Yes.
Are we better than the Ottawa Senators?
Yes.
Boston Bruins?
Yes.
Montreal Canadiens?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of more Western teams that are really good. Are we better than the LA Kings?
Yeah. I think LA is gonna fall off this year.
Are we better than Vancouver?
Yes.
Seattle?
Yes.
Okay. Those are the and I even Seattle and Vancouver I just kind of threw in because I was thinking of teams, but I can't think of any other cup contending team. So by this metric, the Devils would be tied for 7th best in the league, according to you. We have Florida ahead. We have Carolina, Dallas, Edmonton, Knights. And then you would put Colorado, New Jersey, and Tampa Bay all together, which would make out your final. Well, that would actually be 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
the 7th to 11th best team. That's sort of mushy, lower, second tier.
But I think it's safe to say the Devils are a top 10 team in the NHL.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but like firmly in that bottom half of the
half of the top 10. I agree with that. I think
but it's like prove me wrong. I think Vegas, Florida, Edmonton. Until Edmonton falls off, I'm not going to count against them. Florida's obviously the gold standard. I think what Vegas does is they're the gold standard out west. I think LA got worse. Edmonton's kind of treading water a little bit. I'd be curious to see what they do about their depth. Curtis Lazar is probably going to score 25 goals for them.
Don't bet on that.
Carolina, okay, we can talk about this a little bit. Like the other Metro teams, right? I actually read a pretty good piece on All About the Jersey about the other Metro teams, right?
Yeah.
Carolina, I do not think they are better than where they started out the year last year. Because the way I look at it, they basically swapped Natchez for Ehlers and Jack Drury for Stankoven, and they added Taylor Hall. So they're marginally better on the wings.
We do not count Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall in no way, shape, or form has any interest in playing hockey ever again. He's cashing a fucking check, and that is it. Taylor Hall is the Andre. Well, actually, I'll say I would take Andre Palat over Taylor Hall any day of the week.
I would not.
I would. Well, you watch Taylor Hall when next season starts, and you tell me if he does the little things.
If his fucking coke guy moved down to Carolina, then sure. I think Carolina got better defensively, but they still have Kotkaniemi as their 2C and Stahl, who's now 37, as their 3C. So I think they're still a little bit weak down the middle and not nearly as good. Their top-end talent is good, but it's not elite. Arvis, Jaho, Svechnikov, and now Ehlers. So they have a pretty good top four guys. I think our top four is better. Their depth is better than ours. I think their decor is really good. The way they play is better. And I think their goaltending is still like a huge question mark. So until Carolina loses to us, I think we're the second best team in the Metro. Until Carolina loses to us, it's Carolina's division to lose. Washington, I think, is going to take a huge step back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Flyers, who fucking knows, man? Who knows what Rick Tockett's going to do with that group of guys? It's going to be like their Michigans for 60 are going to be through the roof,
right?
Until Tocchet loses his mind. Pittsburgh sucks. The Islanders are in a transition phase, and they're going to be good in about 5 years. I think the Rangers are still going to be bad. They have old forwards and like two good defensemen, and the rest of the team sucks. And then fucking Igor, So I don't know. I think it's
one other team that I think is actually going to be dangerous, and that's Columbus. You haven't said. I think Columbus is on the rise, and I'm not saying they scare me, but I do think that they're
on the rise. They're on the rise. I think it'll be Carolina. Not to be way too early on prediction time, but Carolina, New Jersey, Columbus, and the Rangers fighting for third, fourth. And then Flyers a little bit tier below them, and then the Islanders, Penguins in the basement.
Yeah, I can agree. I agree with that. I think Columbus will take that step, and they'll kind of move in the Washington Capitals spot.
Yeah, the Caps will be in that Rangers. Sorry, I missed the Capitals. Caps will be in that Rangers. I think.
Yeah, they'll be in that 3 to 5 range in the division. I agree with you on that. I think that Carolina, all the hype every fucking year, right? And I buy into it, and so is everyone else. I think it was FanDuel or somebody already had it out that they were favored to win the Stanley Cup. But just stop. Because every year they have a good regular season, they knock somebody out in the first round, and then they get beat in the second round or the final, whether it's Florida, the Rangers, whatever. They don't scare me anymore. And I watched our series against them, and I saw the amount of heart that our team was playing, that the Devils were playing with, and it was so frustrating because you knew with the effort they were giving, if we had our star players in, they wouldn't have won that series.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But I will, to this point, they knocked us out 2 out of the last 3 years of the playoffs in 5 games, both in overtime in the deciding game on fucking power plays, mind you. But they still did it. So, yeah, they're better than us. Until we beat them in the playoffs, they're better than us.
And that's, and we got to get through them, and then we got to get through probably Florida or Toronto. That's how I see it kind of playing out. I don't see Florida regressing at all from where they are. I don't see any reason. Their vibes are fucking immaculate right now.
Yeah, the only thing, we know that guys hit age cliffs and stuff, but Florida does have some guys that are a little bit long in the tooth. But I think that next year would probably they definitely have one more run in them. I'm not sure if they're going to go New York Islanders and win 4 in a row, but I think they're absolutely going to be a team that during the regular season will get by like they did this year.
Yeah.
Just make sure they secure their playoff spot. They don't give a shit where it is. And that's all they care about. But once they get in, they're a different team, and they can just flip that switch, and they are the best playoff team. I mean, I'll say the best playoff team I've seen in 20 years.
Yeah. Since us.
But yeah, they actually remind me.
Those Tampa teams were pretty good, but the Florida teams clear those Tampa teams, I think.
And those Chicago teams were good.
And the Penguins.
Yeah, there's some really good teams.
There's some really good. All right, never mind. There's some really good teams.
Really good teams, but Florida is on. I think. All right, I'll say it this way. I think Florida would have beaten any one of the teams we just mentioned in a 7-game series in both in their prime. So like Florida now, Chicago, and
I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
I think that they're that good. Yeah, I mean, I would love to have seen. What year was it? Penguins 6 and 7 was it?
6
somewhere around there.
Yeah, 6 to 10. Yeah,
those teams, the Sidney Crosby, those 2 back-to-back Cup teams with this year's Florida team. I'd like to see that. That would be a great series.
Yeah, I'd like to see those Hawks teams too. Like they were good fucking teams. So they had pretty shoddy goaltending. I don't know.
They had one of my favorite players of all time.
I read something the other day, and it's Alan Walsh, who's an agent, put out something that like they're still like
they're saying Jeffrey Epstein was an agent.
He was a Mossad agent.
Yeah.
There's still like $275 million worth of available cap space out there, collectively amongst all the teams.
How's that happen? Explain that to me. You're saying just everybody's cap space totaled
everybody's
up.
cap space,
okay, I'm sorry.
Totaled up. There's $275 million.
Okay.
Roughly. That may have changed a little bit since he put it out. I think it was like a week ago. And it's just, I feel like we've reached almost like a critical mass of good players. And this is what makes me nervous about expansion. Like if you look around, like every team has some sort of hole, but is kind of capped out, except for maybe Florida and maybe Vegas, like I don't know, it's they're just like, and that's why there's no deals going on. That's why there's nothing happening, because every team's kind of like, I don't know what to do now. And it's sort of frustrating. Like, that's why Fitz needs to get some balls and call Seattle and be like, what will it take for Jared McCann? But Palat has to be part of it. Yeah. Palat for, Casey a first and whatever. Just get him off the team, place him in McCann, bring in Erod. Like, I don't know why this shit isn't happening. I just don't know why.
I would love to have somebody ask Tom Fitzgerald where he sees this Devil team in 5 years. Like, who does he see those guys he drafted being in here? Like, does he have a vision of in 3 to 5 years, I want these guys on the ice. I think this is my team. I can win a cup with these guys as long as and he's putting the pieces in place. Or do GMs not think that way too, so far ahead?
I think they do, but he's in 3 to 5 years. He's either going to be working at a Wawa, or he's going to be saying we're still building something here. Because ownership, I have no idea if they even understand that they own a professional hockey team.
Oh, when you just drafted Jaden Daniels, you easily forget about your NBA and NHL franchises, and when you're trying to build a new stadium for the Commanders.
Like how much revenue and value football teams have relative to hockey teams. It's crazy. Jaden Daniels makes or will be making probably a half to 2/3 of the entire salary cap of the Devils.
If Jaden Daniels stays on this trajectory, by the time his second contract comes around, I would say quarterbacks at that point, easily, top-notch ones, $70 million a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we're going to be at 110. Like, that's it's fucking insane. Crazy. You know what must be an awesome job? Just being like the NFL, the agent for the next NFL quarterback. Because there's no benchmarking statistically or anything like that. It's just I feel like the last 10 years, every quarterback's been up for a deal. It's the last guy got 50, so I should get 55. And the owner's just all right. And then the guy who got 55, the next guy comes up is I should get 60. And it's just
when it comes to the NFL, it is a quarterback-driven league. You have to have a guy. And in management's head, you have to have a guy, and if you do have a guy, you never ever let them walk out the building, which is why, in my opinion, above average quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, Jordan Love, all these guys got ridiculous over. Dak Prescott, $60 million. All those three guys I mentioned earlier, 50, 52, 53 million a year. And it was just, and they signed them all relatively around the same time, but it was like, okay, well, one of them got 50, I want 52. Exactly what you said. And for a day, a week, whatever, they're the highest paid quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, though, when you are an NFL team and you marry yourself to such a huge chunk of money, a huge percentage of your cap going to one player, and if that player is not a guy that you can win games without elite talent around, when they're not Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, you're never going to win a Super Bowl. You will always and forever be in the mushy middle. Jacksonville Jaguars will always be there because I don't believe that Trevor Lawrence is a guy. Maybe Trevor Lawrence can, but I don't believe Jordan Love, and I don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa. And yet they're getting $50 to $55 million a year. And now when other guys' contracts are up, like Tyreek Hill or Waddle or these great players that are around these guys, and they want to get paid top dollar, it's not there. So you got a bargain bin, and maybe you'll pay a wide receiver, but maybe your offensive line now takes a hit, and your defensive line takes a hit, your secondary takes a hit because you can't pay elite guys. Then you're just not going to win. And
when the Ravens was 2 years ago, maybe it was in last offseason, were arguing with. I'm going to pop out for a second after I get this thought out. When Lamar's contract was up in the air, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, this is a generational guy. Like, you just pay him his money.
You got to pay him. Yeah, 100%. And
right.
Go ahead, hop out.
No, I'm going to hop out. I was just saying, get us sorted into our
sure
previews,
thing.
and then.
All right, so we're going to now jump into welcome to New Jersey. So we each took a player, newer player for the team coming in, whether first time to training camp or whatever, whether they're on the main roster, whether they're down in Utica. And Tim, you want me to go first? You want to do your guy first?
You can go first. Yeah, I think the way we kind of decided to organize this is sort of bottom up. So, today we were going to cover two guys. So we each got our little homework assignment. Chris and I actually did some pre-work. We don't just bullshit around here. So Chris is. I'm just kidding. That is all we do. Chris is actually to talk Scott LaChance. I'm going to talk Juho Lomiko. And then we'll get into later. We'll talk about Gritzik and Lenny, and then we'll talk about Dadonov and Brown down the road, and then eventually we'll get into Quinn Hughes and Jared McCann.
I hope.
Yeah,
that would be amazing. So I started falling in love with Shane LaChance about 2 months ago.
LaChance? I think I said Scott LaChance.
Doesn't matter. We'll just call him LaChance.
It's his dad.
Screw you, LaChance. You didn't deal yourself no pad hand. You know what movie that's from?
No.
Stand By Me. Gordy LaChance. That was the main character's name. So anyway, he grew up in Massachusetts, right? So and he grew up a Devil fan. And he says the 2012 and 2017 playoff runs are his favorite moment. That's what he fell in love with. His father, Scott, there you go. That's how come you got Scott LaChance. Former NHL player, played for over 12 years, and now he's the head scout for our New Jersey Devils. So we thought a little bit at first, because we got him from Edmonton in a trade. I'll talk about that in a second, but this nepotism here. And I didn't know anything about him. But I like this guy a lot, and I really hope that he makes the team. So he signed his ELC with New Jersey this year on April 16th. It was a 2-year AHL standard player contract, nothing special. He went to BU, we know that, right? Played for Jay Pandolfo. Was playing with Macklin Celebrini when he was there. He was on his wing. And Jay Pandolfo, who was the coach of Boston, I have a little bit here. Where's the trade. I just wanted to go over that real quick. I must not have wrote it down because we got him from Edmonton. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. I was on the wrong page. So anyway, he was born. Yeah, here you go. 6'5", 218 pounds, right? August 30th, 2003. He's born in Massachusetts. 2019, 2020, he played for the Tabor Academy and for the AAA for the River Rats.
Oh, he played for Tabor?
Yeah. And
I played against them.
This is running.
The best player. Sorry to interrupt. The best player. This is a Tim Glory Days story. The best player I ever played hockey against, who had an unfortunate accident, Travis Roy. So I was at a tournament at Kimball Union Academy where Adam Fantilli went. It was a holiday tournament. So it's like my school, Lawrenceville, Tabor, Kimball Union, a couple others were up there. I think Northfield, Mount Herman. So some decent like boarding school hockey. That's kind of what you did in the '90s. If you there was no juniors or anything like that. And we were winning 5-2 with like maybe 8-9 minutes left. Travis Roy scored 4 goals over the course of like the last 5-6 minutes of the game for them to win 6-5.
That's
fucking unbelievable. He was so nasty, but what happened to him was awful.
What happened?
His first shift at BU.
Oh, he's the one that got paralyzed.
Yeah, he went in the corner, broke his neck, and he actually passed away a couple years ago. But he was going to be a fucking star in the NHL. It's very sad. Anyway, sorry to derail with a fucking sad story. Jesus Christ. But anyway, he was nasty.
Shane Lachance still has use of both of his legs, so that's good. Too soon? Sorry. So there's a running theme here, and this is the running theme that you're going to see with this kid is one of the main reasons why I think I have very high hopes for Shane Lachance, right? So in 2021, he became the captain of Tabor Academy. In 21-22, he joined the USHL, where he played for the Youngstown Phantoms. In 55 games, he had 11 goals and 12 assists. In 22-23, he became the captain of the Phantoms. He played 62 games that year, 33 goals, 21 assists. And that's the same year that he began playing for Jay Pandolfo and Boston University. His first year at BU, 40 games, 13 goals, 14 assists. And last year, 24-25, he finished his career at BU with, once again, being awarded the captaincy, and in 40 games had 12 goals and 18 assists.
As a sophomore.
As a sophomore.
That is extraordinarily rare in college hockey for a sophomore to be awarded the captaincy.
And that's the first thing about this guy. First thing that I was absolutely noticeable and piqued my interest with Shane Lachance was 6'5", 218 pounds. This is a big dude. This is a power forward. And that's something that, the Devils could use a little more of. And everywhere he's been, he has been a leader. And guys follow this dude. And I mean, for 3 teams that he's played on to be awarded the captaincy on all 3. And like you said, as a sophomore at BU, that's impressive. So in 21, he was drafted by the Oilers in the 6th round, 186th overall. And on July 26, 2019, actually his draft pick rights, they belong to Pittsburgh, and they were traded to Edmonton for John Marino. And we get this crazy little, will you guys please stop wrestling? Yeah. So John Marino went to Pittsburgh. What? What'd you say?
Never mind.
Oh. So yeah, so Edmonton goes to Pittsburgh.
Are they wrestling like mom and dad used to wrestle?
Yeah, no, they're not doing that. They're just wrestling like Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage used to wrestle. So there you go. John Marino, the Devil Connection once again. And on May 4th of this year, 2025, his rights were traded to New Jersey. New Jersey was a third-party facilitator in this deal for Edmonton to get Trent Frederick from Boston. So Edmonton loses Shane Lachance. We get
How
Shane
old
Lachance.
is he now?
He was born in 03, so what's that?
22.
23? 22?
22, 23. Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, he signed his ELC this year on April 16th. Jay Pandolfo, absolutely. This is what Jay Pandolfo said about him. He's a very intelligent player. He understands his identity as a player and what makes him successful. He's a big body. He understands how to use his size and that he needs to be strong on the puck and on the walls. He needs to make sure he gets to the net. He's a smart dude that can play up and down the lineup. This guy's ceiling, dude, I think is absolutely a everyday NHL above average, noticeable forward, Alex Tuck type, top, possibly even Tage Thompson. Why am I only getting my head in Buffalo?
I think that's a bit extreme.
His size, I'm saying, and if he can utilize that size to be, this is something the Devils don't have. And with the way this dude is, his leadership qualities, his size, the way he plays, I will not be shocked if he makes the team.
Yeah, I like, you said it, like when we all saw the trade, it was Fitz's first deadline deal trade. We're like, oh, nice job, you fucking dickhead.
Right.
You're facilitating someone else's
Shane
trade.
Lachance.
And then we saw that his dad was the head of scouting. We're like, oh, for fuck's sake, Tom. Then we saw he's from Massachusetts. We're like, Jesus Christ, the guy can't help himself. But the more you learn about him, the more you watch him. Obviously, we were all watching BU games for Yegorov. And, then we started, then we connect the dots like, oh, that's the kid that we kind of got for $500,000 from Edmonton. All right. Big kid, good net front presence. He actually scored a goal that I think we're going to see a lot of. Hopefully, if he makes this team or in the future is a big part of this team at Dev Camp, where he was sitting net front, just dove, poked one in because that's where he camps out, that net front, and he's going to score. That's where he's going to score his goals, and he knows it, and that's what. That's what Pando said about him. It's like he knows his identity. He knows that's where he's going to score his goals. That's where he knows shit's going to happen for him. So, I'm excited. We I don't want to overvalue prospects too much. When you throw out Tuck and Tage Thompson, it's like, all right, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I think we're looking at a better version of Nate Bastian here.
Fuck
his
no.
Skating, his skating is very, very rough.
I think this kid has intangibles that are going to make him a quality NHL player.
Yes. A better Nate Bastian.
I wouldn't consider a quality NHL player.
No, that's why I said a better Nate Bastian. Because Nate Bastian is not a quality.
I have high hopes for Shane Lachance. I do. I could
he's
be proven
wrong. He's
wrong.
going to be a very good fourth liner, I think. Is he? He's primarily a center, right?
No, he's a winger, left wing.
Is he a winger?
Right. Yeah. I don't think he played center at all. But
I'm pretty sure he's a center. I think he played some center.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that now.
Left wing. Left wing. So, yeah, I mean, as far as the first prospect that we're doing, I mean, look, there's a very good chance he'd be playing in Utica this year. But I do think with the holes that we have and some of the needs that we have, I do think he stands to have a pretty decent chance to make it.
Yeah, he was in Utica at the end of last year, right?
Played 2 games for him.
Yeah, 2 games. I think he actually potted a goal, too.
Yeah, he did. He had a goal and an assist in 2 games.
What's also weird is hockey's, we make fun of nepotism across industries all the time and say, like, oh, he's only making it because of his daddy, all that type of shit. Honestly, hockey's one particular industry, like, in terms of players, where I think nepotism actually, like, works heavily in people's favor. Like having like the son of an NHL player, I think is actually like an interesting thing. And we know our dearly departed Chase Stillman, as Fitz loves his guys. See, Chase Stillman got traded again today.
He got traded again. Where's he now? Pittsburgh?
He's Vancouver or Abbotsford, if he even makes that fucking team. But Fitz loves his sons of NHL players, particularly if they're from Boston. So I'm pleasantly excited for this kid. I don't want to get all jazzed up, and take my pants off for a prospect who's probably going to be the fourth liner at best. But leadership qualities, net front, size, Like these are things that we need in this lineup, and I'm excited for him. His the word is that his skating is a little rough, but his intelligence on the ice kind of makes up for that. And I think that's a lot of, what you need to do. It's like me in beer league when I'm like, fat and slow and can't keep up with shit. Like I'm, the guys I'm playing with and, they barely played fucking high school hockey. So
right.
Like I know where to go. So it's good. I'm excited for the chance.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump on to our where's he from? Finland?
Yeah, Juho Lamiko. Two M's, two K's in that last name. So I did a little research, and I would like to apologize to Juho. He is in fact a real person. I've actually found pictures of him, photographic evidence, as well as 2 videos from his team. He was on the ZSC or Zurich Lions in the Swiss League. He's playing second line center there. So he is he does have some NHL games. I think he has like 156-ish games and like 11 points. So he's very much.
Now, back to the little chance question, really. He's a center, this dude?
Juho?
Yeah.
Juho is a center, yes.
Wow. I thought he was a winger. That kind
of and I'll get to that. But like, in the NHL, when he was here, he's drafted by Florida in the 3rd round. Juho's 29. He's also a big boy. 6'3", 203 is his listed size.
Nice.
So another good size, and I don't know if Fitz is going for some sort of very niche fit on this type of guy, or if he was just like kind of liked him from what he saw. Like we have footage pretty much of everybody, well, except on YouTube because I only found 2 clips of this fucking guy. So, so it's interesting. His NHL stats, not much to look at.
That's all Fitz went by was the 2 clips on YouTube.
And looking at a Substack article from JP Gambites, who got pretty deep into the weeds on some of his play driving and offensive metrics aren't very good, but the things that he is good at are getting rebounds, getting one-timers, and deflections. He is also a big net front guy. So, we have another good size guy along with LeChance. Definitely a candidate to be our 4th seed, depending on how all that works out. He has pretty good speed. And this is something I think looking at the NHL Edge data for speed. So obviously last year, a lot of our issues were around not necessarily top speed, but guys playing with pace. And, you brought in Brown and Dadonov and Lamiko. All of them have well above average volume of speed bursts above 20 miles an hour. Their top speed isn't all that high. Most of them are in the 60s to 70s for top speed. But the amount of speed bursts that they have over 20 miles an hour tells you that they're always playing with pace, that they're always moving quickly through the game. And I really like that about Lamiko. Now, he was playing in the Swiss League, which if you count the NHL is first, KHL, AHL, maybe the Swedish League, and then the Swiss League is probably the top 5-ish league. And, so playing 2C in the top 5 league in the world, how that translates over, plus the bigger ice surface. But he had some good offensive production for his team. His team actually won the Swiss championship. And then I guess in Europe, they also do a Champions League. So a bunch of teams from the not Bundesliga, the German league, the Swedish league, the Finnish league, and the Swiss league, and I think like the Czech and Latvian leagues. All the best teams from that compete against each other for the sort of champions of Europe. And his team won that as well, and he did pretty well in that tournament. So there's a lot of promising things. Another big guy, another good forechecker. Good in the dot. He was 51% in his NHL time, above 57% in Zurich. So that's good. His defensive coverage stuff is a little iffy. He can get a little aggressive on that. So we'll see what Keith does working through with him on that. And looking at his shot map from the Swiss League, it is as actually I'll pull this up really quickly. Hang on. This is actually a fun little.
Everything that you're saying about this guy so far, I'm very excited to see him.
Yeah.
Because look, if if like we talked about, if some of these guys end up panning out, but go ahead, we'll talk first about that.
Yeah, so this is his shooting map in Switzerland. So as you can see, it's a very dark net front. So a lot of deflections, a lot of rebounds, a lot of just getting into that greasy slot area and getting scoring
Camping
goals
out.
that way. So that's what we want from a fourth liner, and a 4C candidate. He is on a 1-way deal, 800K. It can be buried in the AHL if need be, but I think giving him that 1-way deal signals that they have some intention for him to be playing in the NHL. So.
Yeah, which probably means that what you said about Fitz, I think he might have something a little niche that he's looking for, that this guy fits and also fits salary wise and things like that. So again, I've eased up on Tom Fitzgerald over the summer. I have.
Pussy.
Well, you know what it is. I've kind of sometimes you just have to kind of accept that it is what it is. I don't like that term, but okay. So I can sit around and bitch and moan all day, like half of fucking Devil's Twitter does, about what he's not doing, or I can be a little optimistic about some of these younger guys that have an opportunity to take these spots, and they can end up being good everyday players that can help this team. I mean, when you look at how bad our bottom six was last year, it can't get any worse.
Yeah, and it's I mentioned the last show, like bringing in Brown and Donov, that immediately those two had more goals than the 6 guys we let go.
Right.
What I just mentioned about playing with pace. I looked at Lazar, I looked at Tatar, I looked at Hala. Hala was the only one that played with any pace, and he was noticeably slower. And Bastion, good lord, that guy is fucking slow as shit. So, so we're going to have a faster, quicker team playing with a lot more pace. Maybe a little bit more well rounded. If Lachance makes it, if Lemico makes it. So I'm with you on the Fitz thing. Like, he's not going anywhere, so there's no use in beating a dead horse. We all know like what we want him to do. We all think he's still on 4th of July vacation. There's no use complaining about it over and over again. That's why I fucking deleted Twitter. It's just like, I've had enough of this shit. Like, stop complaining about it.
I agree with you. There's nothing that we're going to be able to do or say to change anything about it. Like, we'll talk about any moves that happen and what we want to happen or what we think should happen, but that's all it is us just opining about what we would do if we were general manager. But it is what it is with him, because he's probably not going to make another move. Like, I honestly,
he might not.
I think that the only things that I can see getting done before training camp is Luke Hughes' extension and Andre Palat getting shipped off, because I can think of a dozen teams right now that Palat can fit in and help. That are might even be looking for a guy like that. So I think that those are the only things that are going to happen. I mean, I don't think that he has any interest in, like you said, calling Seattle and saying, hey Ron, give us McCann, thank you, and we'll give you A, B, and C. I think he wants to roll with some of these guys and see how they do.
Yeah, and we can put together all the mock trades we want. Now I'll do it too. I'll be like, I think we should get this guy for this guy. Fine. We're talking about Erod before. It's like, what's holding up that? Like, why can't we do that? So
I worry the Rangers can end up scooping him
up.
Like,
I'm gonna root for this team. Like, I'm not gonna root for this team to fail because I don't like the GM. I'm gonna root for this team to be successful in spite of my feelings for the GM.
Or maybe when it's all said and done, if you really want to go glass half full, maybe when it's all said and done, we're hoisting a Stanley Cup and we're like, God damn, we doubted this dude, and he kind of knew all along what he was doing.
Could be, and he was and I hate to say this, like, he was a new GM when he when he got into the chair, and probably not a great job to learn on the fly with, but he's certainly learning on the fly a little bit. He's overcorrected multiple times, but I think finding that right balance. The draft 2 years ago and free agency 2 years ago, he went big, mean, tough. Like, we made fun of his draft picks, like that he took an Excel chart and just deleted all the rows below 6'3".
You're right.
And now this draft and this free agency went back to, I need speed, and needing to find that blend of as Ace calls it on Running with the Devils, he calls it scrit. The speed and grit.
I like that.
Or the skill and grit. You need to find those guys.
You do. And that's why, we can have a whole nother episode dedicated to why. I mean, I personally, I think with how this team needs to be built, I'm just not 100% sure. Like I've said, there's no spot in my head where I see Palat. I'm willing to give Dawson Mercer this year, but he has to show us more. Like he's a big part of this team. And if this team's going to have any success, he has to have success. And I just think, like, how many more years are we going to go with this guy? Like you said, he regressed last year. So that kind of worries me a little bit. But, and of course, I'm always worried about the injuries. But
yeah, of course. And we'll talk tomorrow with Bobby and Tony about today's latest fucking nonsense floating around about
we'll wrap the show up tonight on a little. We're gonna come back tomorrow and do another show with the other guys. And there was an article that Tim had sent to me, and it was just the most ridiculous, clickbaity bullshit about the Devils and why, and these points that were made in this article, why the Devils have got to get rid of Jack or Luke Hughes, because it is just bad that they're playing together, and to have them on the same team. And he has the most ridiculous evidence, I guess, to try and back it up.
No. And don't justify it with that. It's not evidence. It's
evidence.
It's
nonsense.
It's scenarios that he made up in his head.
Yep.
And suddenly thinks that then is the truth. And there's so many people. There are multiple ways to build teams and build winning teams. And making up shit in your head because you think it should be a certain way,
or you think it is a certain way,
a certain way, and then declaring that the truth, kind of reminds me of somebody. But
you're 1,000% right though. And
but if there are valid justifications for potentially looking at a trade for those two, there are. And if it makes the team better, I want the team to win. But
that's it.
But like that's it. Like, I'm not tied to the name on the back. I'm tied to the fucking logo on the front.
Absolutely.
But I think having them on our team makes our team as best it can be right now.
Exactly. Like, who are you getting to replace Jack and Luke Hughes? Like, if you were to call up right now and say, both these guys are on the block, they don't have to go together. They're not like little puppy siblings that have to be adopted together. We can trade them separately. Who wants them? And what are we getting back? I don't think there's a trade out there that Devil fans, at least myself, would be happy with. Like, I have no interest in trading Jack or Luke Hughes. I have zero interest in that.
I do.
Okay, give me one.
Tage Thompson and Bowen Byram.
No. Oh, wait a second. No.
Right?
And Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson.
Byram could be kind of comparable to Luke, and then Tage for Jack.
Tage does give me a little
throw
zipper
me Alex
burn.
Tuck in there too for maybe just.
But then we got to play him 3 times a fucking year. No, wait, let me change that. They got to play us 3 times a fucking year.
Exactly. You throw in Jesper Bratt and give me Alex Tuck also.
Oh my God! All right, would I trade with Buffalo Jack and Luke Hughes for Tuck, Thompson, and Byram?
You probably need to throw in like someone else in there too.
I don't know. I think I might do that one.
Maybe a first. I don't know. Maybe something.
Okay, then just sweeten it up.
But that's the thing. It's like like that's. I think I would do that. I think I would absolutely do that.
I would
but not for the reasons that were in this article. There's no fucking media circus. They're not like not passing to other guys in the team because they only want.
I've never seen that happen.
That is fucking
and we're going to talk about it tomorrow. But the other thing was the inside jokes, right? Like they're going to be making inside jokes that other team members aren't good. Like, because when Timo and Nico are talking Swiss to each other, that's not the same fucking thing. And it's just the most. You know what it is? It's fucking retarded.
Yeah, it is. We brought in a fucking Russian. Probably 80% of that is to mentor our little Russian. Yep. Oh, I didn't even bring that up with Lamiko. Is like he played at the World Championships with Lenny Hamaniho.
Okay.
So it's like, okay. And now that we shipped off Hala, who's our other Finnish guy.
You're right.
Like, the Finns fucking love hanging out with each other. Like, why do you think they're doing?
It's the dumbest article. We'll read it. We're going to read it tomorrow. We'll read it verbatim. And the other thing that really pissed me off, and I'm just gonna we'll end the show with this. You know what? That's a teaser.
Save it for tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow. We will talk. Come back tomorrow. Maybe we could do this in a live show and see what the audience thinks about it too.
I think that's a good idea. Okay, so we will throw out on social at some point tomorrow what time we're going to do the show. And if you're around, hop on. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe, the like, the alert bell, all that other stuff. Wherever you're listening to us, a 5-star review, a positive comment helps the little show that could for Tim and Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers.
Oh, and thank you for all the new subscribers and people that are jumping on board. We're the little engine that could. We're just starting to get our YouTube presence up. As you can see, we have a very makeshift studio, and our production quality is low. But we like to think we know what we're talking about. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Well said. And if you have any things to add about the LeChance or Juho, you can reach us at unclepuckers@gmail.com. You could also reach us at the Uncle Pucker site on X. You can no longer find Tim on X, but he is still on Blue Sky.
I look at my phone and I'm like,
don't do it. Don't do it.
My account.
No, that's what the terrorists want. Don't do it.
Is.
All right. And we'll see you.
All right. Suck a dick, Valley Cat.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
Unfortunately, wait.